So welcome to Norway, Holt, Gård, and a joint endeavor. We have the farm here and a permaculture project that we'll see later on. My name is Robin Lieber. I've been here since 2004, and I'll be glad to show you around. The farm in itself is very low scale on everything: chickens, sheep, cows. So they produce eggs, yogurt, ice cream, cheese, milk, of course. We have a CSA, a community supported agriculture, where there's 80 families that will have subscribed, and they get their annual vegetables. We have a weekend open cafe. And so this place will pull around 300 people weekly, and this is a great thing for me because of my permaculture project that I'd like to. I have 5 gardens over here that I would like to develop to exemplify permaculture and also create a living selling plants. My journey into permaculture started with me staying in Hawaii, competing windsurfing, and experiencing that windsurfing wasn't really in alignment with what the local community there, I'm talking about Hawaiians, what they really enjoyed. We were at their fishing grounds, and the tourism really jacks up the property prices, and I got in a fight with a Hawaiian outside of a nightclub, and that kind of shifted my focus. I sold all my windsurfing equipment, and I started working on an organic farm. But we found this place, and after they harvested the Douglas fir plantation up here, getting basically no profit from it, I decided, because of its good soil, I would like to start a permaculture project. So the first thing I did was to make this land project sign, taking some of my inspiration from Hawaii, where meditation, harmony within, non-violent communication, harmony with each other, and permaculture, harmony with nature. So these 3 things are the avenues that we would like to inspire people. We have just started a nut orchard over here. There's about 110 hazelnuts, about 25 varieties in this orchard alone, but an alley here of walnuts and heart nuts. And so we're already, after 3 years in the ground, we have quite a bit of production of nuts. So the reason why we got into plant sale was because of the land sign, actually. Very famous plant expert and the founder of Efforus, which is a forest garden plant business. He came and saw what I was doing, and he wondered if I wanted to take over his life work, actually. So we have a website which is very generous on forest garden plants. Gets about 500,000 clicks a year. Inside here there's the garden of perennials and edimentals on display. And so my partner Rick is taking charge on the perennials and edimentals now, and it's inspired by Stephen Barstow's organization, formerly called Norwegian Seed Savers. Now it's called Kvann, and Kvann is the name of the ancient, historically, the oldest Viking plant. I just wanted to show you. This is the painting isn't done yet. My daughter is. I just took a photo of it because I enjoy it so much. So this is depicting a stream coming through like a very landscape. This is what it looks like around here. And so the cod in the fjord, they're suffering right now because of nitrogen runoff. And so if we would find a way to entice the farmer to lend out or rent out the land, preferably 60 meters from the edge of the stream, that would be wonderful, because science says that every meter counts as far as biodiversity, and 60 meter would be wonderful, because after 60 meters the biodiversity really doesn't skyrocket. But as a start, you know, however much we could get as a buffer zone towards rivers and streams would be wonderful. And I would encourage nut trees, but maybe the first few meters could be plants that thrive here, that like diverse. In 1994 we were awarded to be Farm of the Year in Hawaii by U.S. Department of Agriculture because of introducing nitrogen-fixing trees in the aisles of fruit trees. And so that success, which was immense, you know, the nitrogen-fixing trees, they shaded out the obnoxious weeds, and we came in and harvested twice a year, inoculated the trees with rhizobia bacteria, and so the nitrogen production was great, and also the biomass that these trees created was a huge benefit for the tree crops. And so I'd like to investigate how this could be done in Norway. So we have some indigenous nitrogen fixers, but they're not that accustomed to being trimmed that often. So we are going to do an experiment on Elaeagnus umbulata, or Japanese silverbush, which also produces a very nice berry for jam. Yeah, we have a nursery of that up here that's soon going to be planted in amongst hazelnuts. Yeah. Well, this part of the lamb project is just in our minds. This is a shady, rocky, poor soil, north-facing, so it's not very. It's not a favorite place to grow your food for being self-sufficient, but we're gonna make a go of it anyways, and see how such a piece of land could be both beautiful, diverse, productive, wise, and inexpensive. So here we're gonna just do cuttings and do everything kind of for free. To inspire the folks that don't have a lot of don't have the thickest wallets, if they want to adventure into, and they might have a property that's likewise shady, rocky, and so here all the elements of permaculture will be placed: bees, worm farm, composting, the diverse of plants. We're going to have a pond and a tiny house, hopefully. We are using root trainers. You might see the linear things in these special containers that encourage the roots to grow vertical and not spiral. And so we use this for cuttings. This is abroad, which is a nice smelly plant that you can plant in your cabbage fields to repel insects that are detrimental to your crop. It has many, many other uses. So this is our nursery of edible chestnut. So we have American varieties and European varieties, many European varieties. And only 3 years in the ground and we had crops. We were very surprised that that's possible. So, but this is my favorite tree. This can keep producing for thousands of years or 1,000 years. You know, there are 800-year-old trees in Corsica, and they're probably not the oldest. So this is bread from heaven. And so we just flattened this area for the extension of our nursery. So this is where we're gonna line it up with the new irrigation system to remedy the fungi from watering from above with sprinklers. We need the ground watering. And here we have our supply of different varieties of garlic underneath the apples. And this is a particular fun plant, geirløk, which is the word that garlic comes from. So the Vikings was the ones that introduced this word garlic. They traveled with this plant. Geir means spear, and løk is leek. So both geir and leek, those are Norwegian words. And here's Siberian leek that is particularly good to have amongst apples to remedy various diseases. Okay, this is one of my chestnut trees that produced after 3 years in the ground. So you see how much care I've put into it. This wool is also to repel deer. And it supposedly works. I'm going to take all these boxes out now because I totally trust this method now of having fresh cut wool from our sheep. It kind of it looks like it just totally they lose the appetite. We have some setback and some things die, but just a few years in, you can see the starting of a long-term project. Every other row is chestnut, and every second row is some other crop. It could be plum, could be pear, could be apple, could be hazelnut, and in between, again, we have berries. Okay, yeah, this is my honey hut. This is where I spin my honey. So I got stung pretty bad yesterday. So I'm kind of swollen. So I broke my 2 hives into 4, so I have 4 hives now. Last year was an incredible crop, so we still have honey from last year's harvest. But I'd like to, even though I gave away quite a bit, I'd like to give away more. And to have enough bees to do a real good job with pollination. So this is my nursery of indigenous trees along rivers and streams. So I'm starting to get orders, volunteers that want to plant and start on their own. So my ambition is to be the preferred place to get plants like that and grow them big enough so that the casualties of after planting will be close to 0, because planting a lot of these, they will be hit hard by deer, and a lot of the effort will go into nothing because of the small size. So if I grow them bigger, the casualties will be less. The expense will be more, but you know, it will hopefully just pay off. Over here, you can see a starting system. This is Elaeagnus umbellata, or Japanese silverbush, insect-friendly tree that I will be cutting now, about shoulder high. This will make the roots shrink back and leave the nitrogen nodules deposits for the tree crops or whatever I grow, berries, other things. But also, this is a good. This will be a good harvest of berries. And also another insect friend, which is an accumulator. This is a Russian comfrey, the one that doesn't spread out and become, you know, could take over places. This is a variety that will maintain its rows, and you see the insects are all over it. This has deep root systems and accumulate minerals that are lost, and make them available for red currant in this place, in this case. And here we have a row of about 25 varieties of hazelnut, and they are grafted on top of a tree stem that will not produce shoots. So this will be aesthetically and for harvest reasons shaped to be a tree. And this is where I'm going to do the first experiment with a row of alley cropping of Japanese silverbush. So I'll be densely planting a row here of the same kind of system as we did in Hawaii with alley cropping, to just see how it works. Yeah, so this is the end of the small forest garden that is more linear, which I hope will have an appeal to the conventional farmer. Things could be in order and lines, you know, so that it's easy to explain something to your regular worker. You know, you could trim this and do that, and so I'm trying to remedy that way with the way of designing the garden. The previous garden could be all mystic and more feminine, if you may, and more beautiful, more diverse even. But yeah, I'd like to show different styles of forest gardening. Now we're moving into the eco community. We're 9 families enjoying our lives here in our eco-friendly housing, straw bale structures, and we don't have like a religion or anything that unifies us other than composting and yeah, bokashi. But we all like to be in our gardens and play with plants, so that this is something we share. So we each own our own property, so we can enjoy communal areas and then withdraw to have our privacy. So in here, beyond the nettles, is my house. I used 12 years building it. I went to a really good workshop in Denmark with the experts from all over the world to show us how to make the best natural plaster. And I came home from that workshop really confident to do good work. So I really put all my effort into this. So I know more about straw bale building than forest gardening, by far. So I'd like to show you all about it. The rocks here are harvested from the garden, the LAND project. You have to watch the nettles. Yeah. So this is another dream child of mine. I'd really love to have a swimming place right outside my door. So every morning, even when it's ice, I swim in this pond. And it's naturally cleansed by this banana shape of pond that's separate from the real pond. So there's under pressure in this banana right here, which is like 2 meter deep sand filter. And the under pressure sucks the water down through it, and the bacteria in this layer will eat the algae. And here you see arrowroot, which is a food crop that could be grown. Has a nice potato. I have a few of those around here. Yeah, so the straw bales are from the local farm, and the clay is from a construction site for a tunnel, train tunnel in the local town. The gravel or the sand in the plaster is from the local quarry, and the wood is from the local sawmill. And the plexiglass in the winter garden are recycled from supermarket doors. You know, you open up to get your milk, those kind of things. And so, yeah, we made an effort to go local on most of it. And the color is supposed to resemble the local rock. And the sod roof on top are with plants that are locally grown. Yeah, the insulation effect of these walls are tremendous. You know, they're about 60 centimeters deep or wide, 50 centimeters insulation, and probably 5 centimeters on each side with natural plaster. And it's equivalent to the insulation value of 30 centimeters of expanded glass, which is unusually it's unusual to have in any house. But the wonderful thing about it is that, like, if you put your hand in clay and let it dry out, you should get that clay off your hand, because it will ruin your skin, because it will suck all the juice out of your hand. And that's what, as long as you have a roof that's waterproof, then these walls they're going to be super dry. And so there will not be any residue of moisture whatsoever in these walls. So fungi is just, it's impossible for it to take place. Yeah, this is our very old cat. By human years, she's 90. But she's still doing her job. She caught a gopher yesterday. Big gopher. So she's full now. But this is where I sleep, and we have our meals, and we relax, and grow our grapes. We're going to have 3 varieties of grapes growing into this, to kind of section off the different zones: sleeping, eating, relaxing. Yeah, and of course we'd like to have edible things all around. This is blackberry. Yeah, so this oven was put in by a friend of mine, Lars Keller from Denmark. he has made many of these, and you can bake your vegetables or your pizza. You put the fire in here, and then the smoke goes up, and then it goes down, and then the hot smoke will follow this channel like this, and then back and up the chimney. So this entire thing will be warm. Just the thing about permaculture, you know, have the kitchen right in there, and then a door. So one step, and then in the greenhouse. That's how you design in permaculture. If you put the greenhouse in the corner of your property, because it for some reason fits there because of its squareness, it's not recommended, because you will end up just storing your lawnmower or your garden furniture in it, and you won't go there just by the fact that it's the additional meters. You will not use it as much. So correct placement is a very important permaculture principle. This is one of my favorite plants and one of our best sellers. Yes. The Hablitzia taimundis. It's a perennial spinach replacement that far supersedes spinach, in my view, both in taste and nutrition, supposedly. And it comes year after year after year. I've had this for 5 years, and Stephen Barstow, I got the seeds from Stephen Barstow. He has had it for 25 years now, and it's delicious. And it comes as earlier than the nettle in the spring, and you can just harvest. What I like to do, I like to send up 4 of them, these lengthy ones, and then just keep harvesting at the bottom. I juice it, have it in salad, have it in lasagna. It's an amazing plant. This could, I kind of don't want to put the revolution word in my mouth, but this could be a revolution for the Nordic gardener. To just because it's hard to grow spinach, I find. Soon goes up into seed, and it becomes bitter. This one stays really good and yummy all season. Yeah, this will soon come into flower. And talk about an insect hotel. This is like a buffet. There's so many insects up there. When this comes into flower, the birds hang out in these trees and they go looping and harvest insects. Another great thing about this community is that it's designed by the wife of the farmer. She's a landscape architect. And she decided, you see that knoll over there? It's kind of the ridge. She didn't want anyone to have their house up there because of its elevation. So all the houses are kind of placed on the same level, which is significant. You know, it's a minute thing, but it's important to for the energy in a community where we share values. So there's a common area where we play table tennis and barbecue, and so that top ridge is kept for communal use. I was the coordinator for the lamb project for 1 year in Norway, and so my energy was channeled. I channeled my energy into defining what is a sprout, what is a learning station, and what will be a center. Some people would like this to be a center already, and of course it could, but I would much rather like to be a place of learning, to symbolize that the eternal learning. But I would really like for this place to be a center only when people really have this jaw-dropping experience of seeing all the designs, seeing permaculture. We could talk about strawberry building, we can talk about forest gardening, and we can talk about many things here. But the whole design of permaculture is it's so vast, and to really, there's a lot of misunderstanding in my view of what permaculture is. many people say it's the equivalent of mulching. You know, mulching is permaculture. No, it's not. Mulching is mulching. It's the whole design. And to really convey the beauty and the potential in permaculture requires a bit of time. And you know, I might be a little modest now because we have really put a lot of effort into, especially in this lot. This house is totally, it's all permaculture design. I could talk about the placement of the kitchen, you know, all the rooms, and from inside out and into the garden, we think permaculture. But then, yeah, so this lot could be a land center.
By itself.
by itself, yeah. But the land project, we're not there yet, as far as where we place things, and I would like to have more components in there really working. Like really good composting, really good worm farm, really good even maybe integration of animals. Yeah, and just a little more thought through.